Hello, and welcome to Victor Writes, Victor Reads. Today is going to be a topic on parenting, so I'm going to break out the dad hat and wear that while I read. Before we get into this, I want to share a little bit of the background. As you can see in the title, I wrote about my experience helping with running the Taylor Swift Club at my daughter's school. This is one of the first articles I've posted on Medium after taking a brief break from the year 2015 to 2024. So I was excited when the editors of the parenting portal, which is the publication I posted it to, reached out and said it had been chosen for a boost, which means it was distributed wider than the audience that it would have normally been distributed to. I figure anytime you put Taylor Swift in the title and something about parenting probably gives you a better chance. But I was also happy because this is a real story about something that I did, and I felt strongly I wanted my daughter to have an opportunity to be part of a Taylor Swift club because at her school they'd had a Taylor Swift club in the fall, but it was in the mornings at around 8 o'clock, and there's no way my child's getting up before she absolutely has to get to school in the morning. So that wasn't an option. Two of the fifth grade teachers had been running that club. And so I reached out to them to ask if they would be offended or feel like I was stepping on any toes if I took the club and ran an after school version of it in the spring. They said they had no intention of doing another iteration of the club and they would be happy if to pass the torch. So that's how I nominated myself to pick up and run with the Taylor Swift Club. And here are some lessons that I learned from doing that. Lessons learned from the Taylor Swift After School Club, parenting community, and the importance of a good dance party. And remember, you can find this in all the articles I write on medium.com. My handle there is at Victor Yocco, VICTORYOCCO. And let's get into it. So there I found a copyright free picture of a Taylor Swift album, a picture of a cover. So I posted that as what would be the cover picture on my post. Now, I don't consider myself a Swiftie, and that's true. I'm more of a Swiftie ally. I will happily facilitate the Taylor Swift infused experiences of those around me who need their fix. That's in particular my daughter. I do consider myself a father who plays an active role in my daughter's life. It's with this attitude that I timidly raised my hand this spring, volunteering to coordinate the Taylor Swift themed after school club at my daughter's school. I have two adult children and a 9-year-old. I assumed I knew most of what there was to know about parenting. Volunteering as a club coordinator reminded me I always have more to learn, and that some lessons need to be relearned over time. The experiences I've had organizing and leading this energetic group of 30 young Swifties have been both anxiety inducing and incredibly rewarding. Here are some things I learned along the way. And that number 30, that's grades 2 through 5. So it was quite a big group for me, and it was quite a diverse group in terms of age and capabilities. So, first lesson learned here is the anxiety of responsibility weighs heavily. I expected to have about 20 students sign up to join. We ended up with 30, ranging from 2nd to 5th grade. One of the first things I learned as the club coordinator is being responsible for other people's children is a unique kind of anxiety. And that's been true for any experience I've had where I'm responsible for other people's kids. I like making sure my daughter is able to have opportunities to interact with other children, but I also really don't want to be in charge of other people's kids and responsible for things. It's not just about keeping them entertained or making sure they have fun. It's about ensuring that every single child goes home with the correct person at the end of the meeting. And that really was, I felt like, my number one duty. Every meeting started with attendance. If any child on the roster wasn't present, their parent or guardian was called to confirm they were absent or had arrived home safely from school that day. Counting my daughter, I knew 3 members of the club by name prior to the spring. The rest of the club members seemed to assume I'd learned to attach names to faces quickly. I didn't, and that's why we made reusable, bedazzled name badges attached to a necklace during our first meeting. So yeah, that became the tradition. Everybody had to put their name badge on. But also, I'm terrible with names, absolutely horrible. And so 27 kids who I had no idea who they were and couldn't remember from week to week was a struggle for me. Please come in and grab your name badge, I'd parrot for the first 10 minutes children spent arriving in our room. From there, I'd roam the room, craning my neck and attempting to read the various fonts club members had used on their bedazzled badges to write their names. I didn't want them to know I was behind the curve on learning names by heart. It wouldn't be until every child on my roster had been accounted for that I could breathe deep and enjoy the ensuing 45 minutes leading to dismissal. So yeah, it was really starting things off in kind of panic mode, because if you didn't get every child accounted for, you had to make sure that their parent knew where they were and confirm that as quickly as possible, like before the buses left for the day. Up until the last meeting, I found myself triple checking the pickup list like a TSA agent alert to a major security threat. At the end of each meeting, I would stand at the door where parents picked up their children, a physical barrier between club members and the outside world. But kids are fast, and they like to exit in groups. If I had $1 for every time I shouted to the back of a fleeing child, "Please check in with me before you leave and make sure you tell me your full name," I could probably buy Taylor Swift's entire discography on vinyl. And let's not forget the sheer panic after dismissal when I'd see a child standing alone on the playground, looking lost, and I'd have that moment of, did I just lose a kid? Knowing in the back of my mind they had all been accounted for. What I learned from this was that I didn't fear my capabilities as a club coordinator. I could facilitate the heck out of bracelet making. I could write up dozens of note cards for use in Finish the Lyrics games. I could Google Taylor Swift themed activities and shop for crafts at Michael's with ease. What I did fear was doing anything that would put a child in a compromising position or cause a parent guardian any consternation over their child's safety. That is what was important to me. That is what I focused on spending my energy on. It was easy for me to put myself in the shoes of both the child and the parent. I appreciated the trust both were giving me, and I didn't want to lose that trust. Yeah, I mean, I know as a child, you always want to know in the back of your mind that you're safe and people are taking care of you. And I know as a parent, you absolutely always want to know that your child is being cared for, being released to the right person, and if anything were to happen, you would be contacted immediately. So I did keep that in mind the whole time. Flexibility is key. If there's one thing leading the club reinforced, is that flexibility is essential, especially when it comes to technology. Imagine this. You've planned an epic Taylor Swift karaoke session. The kids are excited, your playlist is on point. The snacks are ready, and then boom, you're locked out of the school Wi-Fi. 30 sets of eyes on the verge of tears weren't strong enough to break through that level of password protection. It's like being handed front row tickets only to find out you've been duped by a ticket scalper, and the ticket taker isn't interested in negotiating. So that did happen. We got locked out of the Wi-Fi once. In such moments, you realize the key to survival is adaptability. After a few deep breaths, and possibly a quiet curse or two, you have to think on your feet. We encounter similar situations at work. I can't think of a time where I've been on a Zoom call and everyone stayed muted during the appropriate times, or when video or audio was shared and it went smoothly for an entire presentation. Thankfully, there's always plan B, even if it involves resorting to our ancient forebears method, like playing music directly from your phone speakers, at least until your phone dies. These experiences reinforced the need for me to roll with the punches and reminded me that sometimes the best moments come from unexpected changes in plans. Whenever I'd been too attached to an outcome, I failed to enjoy the process along the way. Life never goes off without a hitch. Besides, nothing says bonding like a room full of kids trying to sing Love Story a cappella. And here we'll talk about the power of planning. Another critical lesson from my time as club coordinator is the benefit of frequent communication and coordination. Our meetings were held weekly and tentatively planned out each meeting prior to the start of the spring season. From there, I shopped for various supplies we'd need and most importantly planned out weekly reminder emails. A common trait among parents is that our brains are often overloaded with dates, appointments, and activities. Sending reminder emails is not just helpful, it's essential. Think of reminder emails as lifelines thrown to fellow parents swimming in the chaotic sea of family life. If other parents are like me, the more lifelines the better. And I don't know about you, but if you have a child going to school, you will get, upwards of 4 to 6 emails a day with various updates. All the names of the emails start to blend together, all the dates that you receive them start to blend together, and everything just starts to become so overwhelming you want to check out. And in particular, if you're not a person who checks your email daily, they're all going to just pile up and blend together. So I figured it was always good to try to have something to get my name and get our club top of mind for parents when it was relevant. I'd send a reminder 2 days in advance of each meeting, and again the evening prior to a meeting, with a follow-up email and the night following each meeting. These emails detailing the agenda, instructions for pickup, and a reminder to please contact me in advance if a child was going to miss that week's meeting ensured that everyone is on the same page. And trust me, it never hurts to send another email. If anything, it prevents those awkward, "Oh, was that today?" moments we all dread. Occasionally, a parent or guardian would reply to these emails, letting me know their child would miss a meeting. What struck me was each one would also express how much their child was enjoying the club, hated having to miss the meeting, and to thank me for my efforts. These small gestures of appreciation had a profound impact, lifting my spirits and reminding me of the true value of the club, creating a space where kids could connect over their shared love for Taylor Swift. Children are natural connectors. One of the most heartwarming surprises was witnessing how quickly the kids formed a tight-knit community. Despite the age range, 7 to 11 years old, and the fact that most of them were strangers at the start, they naturally gravitated towards each other. The older kids took the younger ones under their wing, helping them with crafts, explaining Taylor Swift trivia, and even teaching them new dance moves. It was like watching a miniature society emerge, built on shared passion for music and friendship. And I won't lie, they tried to teach me some dance moves, and I did not learn anything. I didn't try. I'm not a dancer. I'm more like the Tin Man when it comes to moving my body. The club became a safe space where everyone felt accepted and valued. They celebrated each other's successes, supported each other through challenges, and simply enjoyed each other's company. It was a beautiful reminder of the innate human desire for connection and belonging, even in a group as seemingly niche as the Taylor Swift Club. Watching them, I couldn't help but reflect on how we, as adults, often overcomplicate the process of making friends. We get caught up in our insecurities, our busy schedules, and our fear of rejection. But these kids showed me it can be as simple as finding common ground, offering a helping hand, and being open to new connections. They reminded me that we all crave community, and that sometimes the most fulfilling friendships can blossom in the most unexpected places. Perhaps we could all take a page out of their book and approach social interactions with a little more childlike wonder and a little less self-consciousness. My real reward. Ooh, those are hard. Those double R's. My real reward. As I've gotten older, it's less about how much fun I have doing something for myself, that's for sure, and more about what I'm doing to give back to others, particularly my daughter. If I were going to choose how to spend an hour doing whatever I want each Thursday afternoon, I doubt I would choose to attend a Taylor Swift Club meeting. But if you told me I'd get to share this hour with my daughter and 29 of her fellow Swifties, making sure they are able to enjoy the time with each other in a safe setting, I'd gladly raise my hand. There's a unique satisfaction in knowing that your hard work and dedication have made a positive impact on others. The smiles, the laughters, and the heartfelt thank yous from parents and kids are the real rewards. I'll never regret the time I got to spend bonding with my 9-year-old. They're the moments that remind me of why I volunteered for this role in the first place. I will regret writing real rewards because, woof, my lips do not make real rewards that fast. All right, lesson learned there. The joy of organized chaos. Let's wrap this up and bring it home. Coordinating the Taylor Swift Club was a whirlwind of organized chaos, filled with lessons that extended far beyond the confines of a school club. To other parents and adults considering taking on similar roles, I say embrace the chaos, laugh at the mishaps, and cherish the moments of gratitude, because in the end, it's not just about coordinating a club. It's about creating memories, fostering community, and finding joy in the journey. Oh, one other lesson I learned from the club. When all else fades, have a dance party. Woohoo! And that's all I've got for you now, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Victor Writes, Victor Reads. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment and let me know. Have you done any volunteering for your child or for your niece or nephew, or volunteering in any way where you've actually had to be around a bunch of children? And what was that like? Thanks for stopping by. Have a great rest of the day. I will be back, I promise you, and see you later.